I'm gonna do my best in today's video to demystify off-white paint colors. Off-white paint colors are one of the hottest neutrals right now. Everybody wants, whether it's for your cabinets, your trim, your walls, or even your exteriors, everybody wants that nice creamy off-white, and there seems to be this never-ending quest to find the right one. So today I have 3 Benjamin Moore, 3 Sherwin-Williams off-whites. You're not going to have to go searching through the hundreds of white paint colors. This video should guide you, and hopefully you can choose an off-white for your project that works well for you. If you're new here, hi, I'm Ashley. I'm your virtual paint color consultant and decorator, and my job is to help you design a home you love. So let's get started. All right, I said I had 3 for you. These are the 3 best. They vary in light depth and the undertones, so pay attention to those. And I do want to say, please do not go off of paint color names. There are so many paint colors in the very, very pale neutral range that have the word white in them. They are not white. They are pale taupes. They are pale grays. They are pale violet grays. Be careful with that. Do not go off of the paint color name when selecting really any paint color. It's so misleading. With that said, the first color that I have is Benjamin Moore Simply White. This is one of my favorite bright off-whites. Now it has, if you're familiar with LRV, which stands for light reflectance value, 0 is true black, 100 is pure white. A lot of the true whites have LRVs in the 90 to 95-ish range. Simply White has an LRV of 89, so it's really bright, but it's still creamy. It's got a little bit of a yellow undertone, maybe a hint of a grayish undertone too. It's gonna work really beautifully with quartz cabinets. It's not too bright. Now some of them, the quartz that is ultra creamy, it might be just a little bit too bright, but it's paired very, very frequently with quartz and it looks gorgeous. If you want a bright cabinet color, not too creamy, or a bright trim color, I love this. Now I don't like Simply White for walls. I think it's just a hint too stark, and I would prefer some of the other choices that I'm going to name in just a minute. Cloud White is another one of my favorite Benjamin Moore off-whites. It's a great one for walls because it is a little bit darker. It has an LRV of 85. It's got a really nice yellow creamy undertone without being too yellow. I really like this one for cabinets. I like it for walls. With trim, you do have to be a little bit more careful with this one, whereas Simply White will work with most pale neutrals. Now again, you do need to test because sometimes pale neutrals do demand a true white. Cloud White is sometimes a little bit too creamy for some of these pale neutrals, so it's not like 100%. You do need to test. That's the only thing you do need to be kind of mindful of when you're choosing Cloud White, but by and large it's a great off-white with a really good bit of creaminess in it. The last one that I'll recommend for you is Benjamin Moore White Dove. This is my all-time favorite off-white. We have used this extensively throughout our house. You see it on the trim behind me. We've also used it on our kitchen cabinets and all the trim throughout our house. White Dove has an LRV of 83. It is the darkest on this list. It's got a grayish undertone and a yellow undertone. Now if you want an ultra creamy off-white, this might not be for you because that grayish does significantly cool off that creaminess. You might want to stick with Cloud White, but White Dove, there is a reason it is so popular. It's so versatile and it's so pretty on the walls, on trim, on cabinets. You will not be disappointed by choosing Benjamin Moore White Dove. I said I would just do 3 of each, but I'm going to do 4 with Sherwin-Williams, so I'm going to cheat a little bit. Now, West Highland White by Sherwin-Williams is a color that frequently gets named as the closest alternative to White Dove. It's not as close as another one, which I will highlight in a little bit, but West Highland White is really nice and creamy. It's got an LRV of 86. It's not nearly as bright as Simply White in the Benjamin Moore line, so it's not an equivalent to that. It's really, really creamy. Really doesn't have too much of a grayish undertone at all, but it's fairly bright and it's got a really nice creamy undertone. So this is a great choice that I tend to recommend a lot. Greek Villa by Sherwin-Williams is another ultra popular off-white and one that I really like. This has an LRV of 84, so it is a little bit darker than West Highland white, and it does have a little bit of a grayish undertone. So whereas we really didn't see that with West Highland white, with Greek Villa, it's sort of like White Dove in that it has, you know, a grayish undertone and a yellow undertone. Again, great choice for an off-white. I do see this used a lot on exteriors, and I will say if you are watching this thinking that this is going to help you choose a white for your exterior, you might want to watch another video, and I'll link that below, because a lot of these colors are actually too light for your exterior. They lighten up so much, so just keep that in mind if you are watching this trying to choose a color for your exterior. Okay, Sherwin-Williams cotton. Now I promised you a White Dove alternative in the Sherwin-Williams line. That is Sherwin-Williams cotton. The LRV is exactly the same. It's 83. It's got that grayish undertone and that yellow undertone. It might be just a little bit warmer in terms of just a little bit more of that yellow undertone, but this is the closest alternative to White Dove. So if you're a painter, you know, you must use Sherwin-Williams, you really have your heart set on White Dove, rather than color matching, you might want to try Sherwin-Williams cotton. The last paint color on this list is Sherwin-Williams Pure White. This is a color that it's like Simply White in that it really is, it doesn't have too much creaminess to it, but it's much darker. It's got an LRV of 84 compared to Simply White's 89, so it's about a half a shade difference. There really isn't any yellow undertone. The undertone that you see is grayish. So sometimes this acts like a true white, but it really has just a little bit more color depth to where you really can't put it in the same category as a true white. I love to use this color when I need a trim color that I don't want to be too stark but needs to work well with paler neutrals. Pure White is a great option. It's a great trim color on the exterior when you're going with an ultra pale exterior color. Pure White is super versatile, and I hope you will give this one a shot. The most important part, when you are deciding on your off-white paint color, the best thing that you can do is compare multiple colors. For instance, if you can only use Sherwin-Williams, order all 4 of these Sherwin-Williams colors in those peel and stick. Compare them with the fixed elements where you are going to put them. It is really that simple. Stop the crowdsourcing madness. I see all the time people just crowdsourcing for the best whites or off-whites or whatever. And a lot of times people will give you unknowingly a true white or a blue white or something that's actually a cream. Use this list, order the samples, see which one works best with your fixed elements, and you'll make a great decision. That's all for this video. I hope you learned a lot. I do have a cheat sheet on neutral paint colors I'd love for you to download. And if you need more help, I am always available for virtual paint color consultations, and I will put that in the link below. Thanks for watching.